Welcome to our session on pre-workout timing. You've probably heard people say you should take your pre-workout exactly 30 minutes before training, or that timing doesn't matter at all. In this talk, I'll show you that when you take your supplement can influence how it feels and how it fuels your session. We'll examine how different ingredients like caffeine, citrulline, and carbohydrates are absorbed and when they peak in your bloodstream. We'll look at scientific studies and distill them into clear guidelines you can use in your own routine. By the end, you'll have a practical framework to help you decide when to drink your pre-workout for maximum energy, focus, and endurance. First, let's explore whether timing really matters or if it's just hype. You scoop, shake, and slam your pre-workout before heading into the gym. But do you ever wonder whether you should chug it right before you pick up the weights, or wait a bit for the ingredients to kick in? Some people swear there's magic in a 30-minute window, while others think it's all marketing. This slide sets the stage for our exploration. We'll delve into absorption kinetics, examine how long it takes key ingredients to reach peak levels, and review research that compares different ingestion times. With these questions in mind, let's lay out the roadmap for our session so you know what's coming next. To keep us on track, here's what we'll cover today. We'll start by defining what pre-workout timing means, and look at why most products suggest taking them 30-60 minutes before exercise. Then we'll dive into absorption and peak times for individual ingredients, beginning with caffeine and citrulline malate, and then moving on to carbohydrate timing. We'll review evidence on multi-ingredient supplements and discuss why some components need chronic loading. Finally, we'll finish with practical guidelines and key takeaways so you can customize your timing based on your goals and preferences. With this plan in mind, let's examine the basics of pre-workout timing. Pre-workout timing refers to when you consume your supplement relative to the start of exercise. Most formulas are designed to be taken 30 to 60 minutes beforehand. This window allows compounds to be absorbed, reducing the risk of gastrointestinal distress and ensuring they're available when you start training. Common ingredients include caffeine, citrulline malate, beta-alanine, creatine, taurine, and tyrosine. These compounds work together to boost energy, increase blood flow, sharpen focus, and enhance endurance. Taking them too close to your workout may cause discomfort or deliver their benefits late in the session, too early, and you risk fading before you finish. Understanding these basics prepares us to look at the absorption and peak times of individual ingredients. Different compounds reach their peak blood concentrations at different times. Citric acid cycle precursors like citrulline take longer to convert into arginine, with peak plasma levels occurring around 90-100 minutes. Caffeine, by contrast, hits its maximum concentration at roughly 60 minutes after ingestion, while carbohydrate oxidation begins within about 30 minutes. Knowing these kinetics helps you time your supplement for maximum effect. If you chug your drink right before training, some ingredients may not peak until your session is nearly over. Conversely, taking it too early may mean energy starts to wane partway through. Keeping peak times in mind will inform our exploration of specific compounds, starting with everyone's favorite stimulant, caffeine. Caffeine is a central ingredient in most pre-workout formulas, and timing its intake matters. Most studies administer caffeine 30-60 minutes before exercise, allowing time for it to bind adenosine receptors and peak at around an hour. One crossover study found that taking caffeine 35 minutes before a cycling time trial improved performance by about 5%, compared with placebo, whereas drinking it immediately before had no benefit. As a rule of thumb, aim to consume caffeine about an hour before your session. If you're using fast-absorbing forms like chewing gum, 35-45 minutes may be sufficient. Avoid taking it too close to your workout to prevent gastrointestinal distress or a quick crash. With stimulants covered, let's talk about another popular ingredient, citrulline malate. Citrulline malate is known for enhancing blood flow and endurance, but its kinetics differ from caffeine. A meta-analysis found that taking 6-8 grams of citrulline malate 40-60 minutes before exercise increased repetitions to failure by about 6.4%. However, studies show that plasma arginine levels, which citrulline converts into, peak at around 90-100 minutes. This suggests that taking citrulline an hour before your session may be beneficial, but some athletes experiment with 90-minute ingestion to maximize the peak. For practical use, ingest 6-8 grams of citrulline malate about an hour before training, paired with water and a small carbohydrate snack to aid uptake. Let's now look at when to consume carbohydrates for fuel. Fuel availability can have a big impact on endurance at high intensities. Consuming carbohydrates 30-45 minutes before exercise raises blood glucose and spares glycogen, improving performance. For example, in one trial, athletes who drank a 6.4% carbohydrate solution 30 minutes before cycling at 90% peak power lasted longer than those who consumed the same drink 2 hours earlier. Studies comparing high and low glycemic carbohydrates 30-45 minutes pre-exercise show similar benefits for prolonged endurance. In practice, consuming 20-40 grams of carbs such as a sports drink or banana about 30 minutes before a long endurance session can help. Avoid large meals within an hour to prevent gastrointestinal discomfort. For sessions under an hour, you may not need extra carbohydrates. Next, let's examine multi-ingredient pre-workouts and their timing. Multi-ingredient pre-workouts combine stimulants and endurance boosters, but their acute effects can vary. In a study with trained runners, participants consumed a pre-workout containing 150 milligrams of caffeine, 1.6 grams of beta-alanine, and 1 gram of arginine alpha-ketoglutarate, 30 minutes before a 5-kilometer run. The supplement didn't improve race time or reduce fatigue, compared with placebo. Why? Some ingredients, like beta-alanine and creatine, require chronic loading to saturate muscle stores. Taking them just before exercise doesn't provide immediate benefits. The takeaway is that while you should still take your pre-workout 30-60 minutes before training for ingredients like caffeine and citrulline, don't expect acute performance boosts from beta-alanine or creatine. Instead, load these daily. Now let's summarize practical guidelines. The best time to take your pre-workout depends on the ingredients and your own body. Aim to consume caffeine about 45-60 minutes before training and citrulline malate around an hour prior, possibly extending to 90 minutes if you're experimenting. Take 20-40 grams of carbohydrates 30 minutes before endurance sessions, but skip them for short workouts. Remember that beta-alanine and creatine work through chronic loading, so the timing of these compounds in your pre-workout isn't critical. Most important is to adapt these ranges based on your personal tolerance and schedule. Also remember that no supplement can replace a solid diet and well-structured training program. With these points in mind, we'll wrap up with our final takeaways. To conclude, timing does matter, because ingredients peak at different times. Caffeine performs best when taken 45 to 60 minutes before training. Citrulline malate may require 60 to 90 minutes, and carbohydrates can aid endurance when consumed within 30 minutes of exercise. That said, evidence for performance benefits is mixed and generally modest. Individual response varies widely, so experiment within the 30 to 60 minute window to find what feels best for your body and training style. Remember that multi-ingredient pre-workouts won't provide acute benefits from components that need loading. Evaluate them based on caffeine and citrulline content. Ultimately, your overall diet, training volume, and recovery matter far more than any single supplement. Use timing as a tool rather than a magic solution.